Well guys, it's Wednesday afternoon. The GT3 cars and the LMP2s have arrived. This will be the start of the Paddock tour of the GT3 cars. And here's one of the fan favorites. This is the Arrow number 78. Lamborghini Huracan. Very cool car. Cool livery. Love it in black and green. Now guys, here's a look at the number 97 McIntosh M4 BMW. Take a close look at that as they're going to roll this thing out here. You're going to notice it's music theme, McIntosh being a audio manufacturer of audio components. Very, very cool car.
So final session.
And there it is. Well guys, this is the CrowdStrike LMP2 car. This is George Kurtz's car. He is one of the better amateur drivers, gentleman drivers that you have in the field. This car always does very, very well in class. Always up against Ben Keating and his crew. And guys, there's the Inception Pedal Mafia number 70 McLaren 720S. Another really, really cool car. And guys, this is Ben Keating's LMP2, the Wins Racing LMP2, the nose of which we have for it right there. Well guys, if you're Ferrari fans and we haven't seen these at the races in a while, you're looking at two of them here, the Cetilar. I believe this might be this is not the AF Corsa. These are the Ferrari 296s. These are brand new, just came out this year, replacing 488. I gotta admit, I missed the 488, but nevertheless, they are good looking cars. There we go, they just put the hood on the Cetilar, number 47, Ferrari 296. And there's the 61, that's the recent competition. Well guys, here's a cool look at the number 88 AF Corsa LMP2 car. I just absolutely love that chrome and black livery that you have on it. Very, very cool. And guys, there's a look at the number 11 Fear the Taft LMP2 car. Really, really cool. And here is the number 35 Carlac Minerals LMP2. Now here's a real treat. We've got the number 62 Risi Competition Ferrari 296 out. Cool look at the back end of it, and we'll scroll around here. Now the 488 used to have an open engine compartment window. They no longer have that in this car. The engine's still mid-mounted, but as you can see, you can't see the engine anymore. Nevertheless, it is kind of cool. Alessandro Perguidi, Daniel Sur, and David Rion are the drivers of the 62 car. And there's a really cool look at this particular car. And there you can see the radiator. Now here's a look at the number 79 WeatherTech Porsche, Mercedes AMG. The reason I said Porsche is we have the Porsche WeatherTech racing car right there, which you saw earlier in my GTP video. Now guys, this is the lineup for scrutineering, and here's another look at the Cetilar Ferrari, up nice and close. I love that blue and green livery on it. It's absolutely phenomenal looking. And they just closed the door on me. I was going to try to get a shot of the cockpit. I'll take it up close. It's kind of hard to see the cockpit in the windows of the model cars that we buy, but there you have a good idea what it looks like on the inside there. Very, very cool. And here's a look at the back end of the McIntosh BMW we were looking at earlier. You notice it has a power meter there. It shows the power output that you have on audio equipment. Kind of goes with the theme of the... Oops, I'm sorry. Almost got run over by the Cetilar car there as they were pulling it up close to the McIntosh. And this is the number 96 BMW M4, the Liqui Moly car. And there's a look at the cockpit of that car. This is one of the Vassar Sullivan Lexuses. Now, one of the drivers of this particular Lexus number 12 car is Alan Tellitz. I was down at VAR about a month and a half ago, and I had the honor of being in a second seat in a Lexus that he took me around the track in. It was really, really cool. There's the Lexus. And guys, this is one of the brand new Porsche 911 992s that just came out this year. You're looking at it here. This is the number 16 car.
I don't know what he did between being up in Canada and then heading into Connecticut, but everything seemed to change. It seemed to be a different attitude, kind of a different approach. And I didn't see him make mistakes on the racetrack like he had earlier.
If you're like me, you gotta love the Porsche 911s. They are my favorite car out here. Here's the other Vasasolo Lexus. There are two of them, the 12 and the 14 car. This is the 14 car that we're looking at right here. And there's a real treat for you. Got one of the Iron Lynx Lamborghinis ahead of us. There's a look into the cockpit of that car. There's a nice badass view of the front end of that car, the big old grille. Well guys, here's one of the Iron Lynx Lamborghinis. Now if you'll notice, and if you're not cheating, you're going to see red on the end caps of this car. You're going to see red. And that tells you in the red number panel, that in the red on the end caps of the windshield panel, this is a pro entry. That's a look at the Iron Lynx. And here is the series leader in GTD, the Polar M4 BMW. This car runs phenomenally well. I do mean phenomenally well. And there's a good look at the car from the front, including the big, huge kidney stone grille. I personally like it. I just had to do this again. Here's another look at the front end of that Iron Lynx Lamborghini. It is so sexy. God, I love that car. Now, as I walk towards the back of the line, you'll notice that all these cars are staged. They have specific time that they have to show up for scrutineering. This is all pre-practice. These cars have just been unloaded today. A lot of BMWs here. I'm going to find out what that counter is. If you take a look where my finger is pointing, you're going to see right near the fuel input, there's a little counter there. I want to find out exactly what that is. Guys, one of the crewmen was telling me, you see there's a little screw that I'm pointing at, you can see there the fuel input. When they engage that, this times the fuel stop, how long, if they want to do a partial full, say it's maybe 10 seconds, they can monitor it through that. Very cool. And guys, here's a look at the exhaust of the BMW M4. The mechanics tell me the drivers hate it because it really stinks the car up. You can see all the smoke it puts out there. Now guys, here's a first look at one of the Aston Martin Vantages GT3 car, the Flexbox number 44. If you notice, this has green mirrors, green on the end caps of the windshield banner, and green on the end cap of the rear wing. This is an amateur entry, green on the number panel you see there as well. That is GTD. Spencer Popelli, Andy Lally, and John Potter are the drivers of this car. One thing you got to check out here is check out the rear diffuser. This is what it looks like for real. You got model cars that look like this. That is just massively huge. It is such a good looking rear diffuser. I love it. Now the next two cars that we're looking at are still in the garage area. This is the number 9 Pfaff Motorsports Porsche 911. This car will be replaced by McLaren next year, and I'm told that the plaid livery will be gone on it as well. I think that's a shame. We are going to miss this car an awful lot. There's a last look at the number 9 Porsche 911. Well guys, here's a real fan favorite. This is the Corvette C8R. It too is still in the garage area. You can see it's up on the air jack. See the air jack hose attached to it. Look at that massive diffuser. Now this will be replaced next year by the Z06, and I'm told it's going to be a totally different beast. This is really a GTLM car that they had to convert to GT3 specs since they're not running GTLM cars anymore. They called this car the Frankenstein because of the fact that they literally just had to downgrade it in order to make it GT3 legal. But there is a good look at the Corvette number 3. Guys, as I walk down pit road, these orange banners that you see, those are LMP3 cars. The black banners are the GTP cars. You've seen all those in my earlier tour. Now they're just rolling out the Cetilar Ferrari. That is a GTD entry or a Pro AM entry, respectively. They're going to hook it up and they're going to drag it up to scrutineering, I would imagine. Yes, you can see that is exactly what they are doing. You see the number panel flashes number 23. It's not racing. It flashes the number of the car as opposed to the ranking it's in. And they are getting ready to haul this puppy away. Literally, it's going to be moving here in just a second. And there she goes. Number 23, Cetilar Ferrari. Guys, we are now looking at the Heart of Racing garage. These are the 2 Aston Martin entries that they have. Number 27 car is their Pro-Am entry. Number 23 car you see in the red, well, you know, that's the Pro entry. Here's a closer look at the number 27 car. And here's a really cool look at the number 29, the Pro entry. Very cool, guys, very cool. You know what, I may have misstated as far as the fan favorites. This is Rexy. Rexy is back. Roxy was around for the last race. I believe it was Watkins, or no, it was VIR. But Rexy is back. The green Porsche 911 992. They've got the nose off the front of it. And I'll pull back a little bit. And you can see they really do it up here. They've got pine trees to give it that prehistoric look, or palm trees, excuse me, not pine trees. This is AO Racing, one of their entries. Very, very cool car. The other car, the Paddock car, is not going to be here this weekend. Now, this one's a little hard to see because it is in the garage, but this is the Winwood Racing TechMet car, which has normally got a blue livery. It is pink this weekend. I still think it's very cool. Now guys, here's one of the Acuras. I forgot we haven't seen many of those. You see the front end missing on this one. They've got the hood up. This is a mid-engine car, so there is nothing up front. It doesn't even look like they have radiators in there. That's unusual. Most of them do. You can see they're still decaling it. The number panel looks like it is brand spanking new. And I don't know, they've got some kind of stuffed animal on the top. I'm not sure what that thing is. Any of you know, let me know. This car has done really well. Ashton Harrison has done a really good job. Her co-driver is Kyle Marcelli. He has been a great teacher. He is a Honda factory driver, and this is their car, number 93. Well, guys, here is the other Acura, the J.G. Wentworth Acura. I've got a friend that has a number of great pictures of this car that he has taken. I thought they were going to roll this out to scrutineering. Looks like they're just maneuvering it. Maybe they are. They were just straightening it out. So they're going to walk it right by us, and then I'm sure they're going to hook it up to a truck to take it out, and maybe they're not. Keep that right away for as long as we can. Qualifying tomorrow, and then I'll race tomorrow as well. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But there is the Acura, the number 66 J.G. Wentworth, Sheena Monk's car. And guys, here is the Volt Porsche. Alan Bridge-Olson and Trent Inman, they always have pre-signed cards out here. You can grab one of those anytime. They sign them in advance, which is really cool. I've got hundreds of them, literally. I've given many, many away. There's a really cool look at the front engine, or not the front engine, what the front of this car looks like. The engine, of course, is in the back. This is GT3, so it is a rear engine car. Not the RSR 11, which was mid-engine. There's another look at it from the passenger side. The front end missing, it looks really kind of odd. But on the other hand, you got a really good look at what the front of the cars looks like. And guys, here's a really close look at the ERA Motorsport LMP2. I really love the livery on this car. It is so neat. There you can see it with the front end removed. As I move in a little closer. Now these cars, they have Gibson engine, 8 cylinders in the back. They sound amazing too. Butterfly doors, you can see on that. Very, very cool. And that is the LMP2 ERA Motorsports. We just looked at the Rexy car. This is a backup car. You see they're putting it back in the trailer. Just shut it up on you, and there's some of the parts for it there. And those are all, that's all backup pieces in case they have a wreck. And there you can see the front end of it. Very, very cool. And guys, this is the Michelin tire tent. They are the supplier for all the cars that race, the LMP3s, the LMP2s, the GT3s, and the GTP cars. This is, and of course, they also supply tires for the GT4 cars and the TCRs as well. They are in the Michelin Pilot Cup Challenge, so that would make sense. And you can see each rack there is specific for each car in the series. And this is where the guys do the magic. This is where they mount them on the wheels for the specific cars. And as you can see, they have a mounting schedule. Speaking of Michelin tires, there you can see the tire rack for the number 32 Mercedes-AMG. This is Windward Racing's entry. It's way back in the paddock there, really deep back there, but there's a good look at the rear end of that particular car. It's up on the air jacks. Wheels have all been removed. And guys, this is another one of the LMP2 entries, the high-class racing car. As you can see, they're putting a number panel on the stand there to identify it, I guess, for all the fans as they come through here, like you and I. Notice that they have rain tires mounted on this car. They'll put slicks on it later. And guys, speaking of, that is Ashton Harrison right there. You see her in the red jacket. She is the driver of that Acura that I showed you earlier, the number 93 car. There's a good look at Ashton Harrison chatting with one of the gentlemen here. Now guys, we are back to scrutineering again. I saw the Inception McLaren lined up here. Figured you guys might want to get a really close look at this particular car. Looks like they're doing some work on the door. Again, it's got those cool butterfly doors on there.
Just across the road. So with that, we are going to wrap things up here once again.
And he just shut it down.
On track with Mazda MX-5 Cup. Second practice tomorrow morning at 8:10.
Let me pull out a little bit so you can get a really good look at this car. Guys, there is the Inception McLaren, number 70. And here's another look at the number 61 Ferrari 296. And the gentleman has the door open, so I am going to zoom in here and get a look at the cockpit of that car. Now that's all lit up. Tell me that isn't cool. Oh, they're going to power up right now, the engineer says. But that is one Ferrari 296. And here is the Triarci Ferrari. We saw this earlier as they were wheeling it out here, and they have brought it up here for scrutineering. Very, very cool. A good looking car. I mean, the Ferraris are always beautiful. I gotta admit though, I really do prefer the 488. Just the back end of the car just doesn't do anything for me. The front end, as usual, looks good. I don't like the headlights as much as I like the 488 either. I must admit the air scoop that goes into the back on this thing is massively huge. Substantially bigger than it was on the 488, which I think is pretty cool. Another gorgeous car. Both of the butterfly doors on the McLaren are up right now. As I was getting ready to walk around here and show you the front of scrutineering, I thought we'd take another look at that car with both of them open. Guys, take a look at that massive diffuser on the back of this thing. It is absolutely huge. The wing's gorgeous too, I think. Of course, the engine compartment, unfortunately, is not exposed. It'd be really cool if it was. And guys, here's a good look at the cockpit of the car. You can see the rear view camera is activated. You can see everything coming from the rear of the car.
Yeah, perfect.
Very, very cool looking. There's a real close look at it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Guys, this is scrutineering. That is what you are looking at right there. You can see the IMSA tent. They have the cars lined up in there. There's one car in there. That's the Macintosh BMW. The Cetilar Ferrari is next up. Guys, here is the number 63 Iron Lynx Lamborghini. Notice they have it covered up. It was drizzling, so I guess they don't want to get the car wet. What I really wanted to show you was the Iron Lynx Iron Dames, the pink car. I hadn't seen it earlier, the number 83. Take a look, you can real close, you can see the number panel there. That is the Iron Lynx car. Unfortunately, because of the threat of rain, I don't think they are going to be removing these covers anytime soon for this video. That is a really cool car. And guys, that is a look at the Iron Lynx garage. And with that, I'm going to close out this video. Guys, thanks for watching. I know it's been 20 minutes long. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you got some really cool looks at cars you may not have seen before. Other cars that you may have seen, favorites. Tune in again. We'll see you next time.